This is the video I wish I could have seen when I first discovered the Bone Tactical YouTube channel. The Bone Tactical Infomercial Network. So, in those infomercials, it says he's the best, most effective in the world. He has a very convincing line of shit about why his specific products are the most like modern design for whatever purpose he's talking about, whether it's self-defense or concealment or just all-around battle use or whatever. He has a really good way of convincing you why his design will be the best for whatever purpose he's talking about. So I believed it. I liked the infomercials. I wanted to believe that I had found the company for me. As who I am, I thought based on the aesthetics and everything that he's about and what he's saying, that I found a cool company to support and that sells cool stuff that's worth the money and is aesthetically pleasing to me in more than just visual ways, but in, I would say, politically too, I guess. So the question is, are the products worth it? Are the blades worth the price? This is the video that I wish somebody had made for me. So the truth about Bone Tactical is, yes, the knives are pretty good, the tomahawks are pretty good, and if you're ignorant to bladed weapons and what's the best and what you should use and what works the best for whatever, if you're ignorant to that information, then Bone Tactical is perfect because it has a huge supply of advice tailored to their products. When you see the Bone Tactical YouTube videos, when the algorithm throws them at you, and if you like knives, you like whatever the subject matter of the video title says, you click on it, you watch it, and you see it was an infomercial to sell you Bone Tactical products. No matter what the topic was, at the end it's always, here's why you need this product by Bone Tactical, right? So those advertisements are fucking sweet. That's what I thought. These are fucking sweet. These tools look cool, and he totally has a good reason of why I would need a tool like this. So let me just get it from the guy who gave me the need for it, right? So if you're not like me, you will do research and see if it's actually worth buying and see if there's reviews and what people in the knife world or self-defense world are actually saying about Bone Tactical products. I mean, I did do that, but I didn't look hard enough because I just wanted to see reviews. I wanted to see people talking about it and giving their take and their experience with the company. I did not have that, so I had to have my own experience and learn the hard way that all the shit they say about Bone Tactical on Reddit is probably true. I have a few that I still think are good designs. Now that I have had a falling out with that company and I explored other companies and seen what the prices are out there for companies that do have lots of videos, lots of user reports, and customer testimonies about how good they are, I have found out that Bone Tactical is incredibly overpriced. And he paints his blades, it makes them look pretty, I guess. It's not tactical to have a bunch of paint coming off your weapon. That's for sure. And I didn't need a fucking video to tell me that, I just needed to use it once to tell me that. So the truth is, are Bone Tactical products worth the price? No, because you can get shit that's tried and true, that has third-party, word-of-mouth value that Bone Tactical simply doesn't have. He's trying to generate it by getting people to make videos for him, by offering them whatever the fuck. He offered me a discount on his stuff. He actually never offered me shit. I just started making the videos because I like the product so much. But once I spent the most money on one of his products that I've ever spent, which is $900 on a machete, and then I tested it on the material that he advertised it to be for, it did this. probably can't see it. I'll give you a better look later. But this is a gold machete. And, ooh, I probably shouldn't have did that. This is a gold machete. It's not tactical to have a gold machete. It's not tactical to have paint on your machete. But either way, I liked the company and I bought the fucking $900 machete. But as soon as I actually tested it did a lot of weird stuff. I'm just gonna rotate it so you guys can get a look as I talk. So this has seen perhaps a half a dozen swings. Excuse me, perhaps a dozen swings against bone, dead animal carcass. And this is what it looks like. But it's advertised to take on bone and keep on cutting. But as you can see in the close-ups, this edge will not cut. Machetes are disposable tools. You use them and then you get another one. He said he was selling an heirloom quality, lifetime quality machete that will always work, but it won't. Not without a shitload of maintenance. And there are companies that sell steel, I mean, they don't make machetes. Like, that's what's unique about what is offered here, is that it's a fighting machete that is supposed to hold up against extremely hard use and last longer than a regular machete. But there's other companies, sword companies, other machete companies like Condor that sell machetes that won't do that on their first use against their intended material. So there's the first point. No. I mean, like I said, the knives and the tomahawks are cool and they're tough, and I've tested them on bone, tested them in all kinds of ways, and the edge does hold up. I do believe they're doing the right thing with their knives and their tomahawks. But the designs, when I ran across Bone Tactical, I just kept running across nothing but how infatuated the dude was with his tomahawk design. So, the truth about the Bone Tactical tomahawk. Bone Tactical, Bone Tactical. Let's see if anybody who doesn't know shit about tomahawks like I didn't, which one would you want? Just pause it, think for a sec. Which one of those looks better to defend myself with against somebody with a blade, somebody with a bat, or multiple people? Because getting jumped or robbed by multiple people is about the only way you might avoid prison if you pull out anything like this and defend yourself with it. So here's the Bone Tactical Bone Hawk. Here it is. Very fucking cool. Very cool. It's heavy. It's got these finger choils so you can choke up on it in case you need to box with it. Is the idea that the maker demonstrates like this. And it's got the spike, it's got the blade, it's got the faux pry bar. It's thick. I think it's even over a 1/4 inch thick. When you pick it up, it feels heavier than a hammer. It feels heavier than most hammers, if not the same weight as a hammer, which I thought was cool. And based on all the shit the maker said about it in the advertisement, I was convinced it was cool before I got it. And when I got it in my hand, I said, this is a substantial piece of steel. This would split a motherfucker's head open. All I gotta do is land one good shot on each of the 4 assailants that I would be willing to pull it out on, and they would be dead, or they would be disabled, and I would be safe and free, and I would go home to play video games, or whatever it is dickheads that buy from Bone Tactical do at home. So, seems like a pretty effective design, right? Seems like a really just awesome design for defending yourself. Like, look at this. This is heavy, heavy, heavy. Okay, here's what I replaced it with. The RMJ, the company's called RMJ Tactical. This is the Ragnarok. Look how much skinnier it is. It's not as thick of stock. The beard is sharpened. It's not sharpened on the Bone Tactical, but it's not sharpened right here, so you can choke up on it if you want. You just got to be careful. It also has a pry bar. I mean, you're not going to be able to pry that between much unless you've already destroyed it, but that's not going to go between a door. That's too thick to go into a door. This is at least a more viable pry bar because of the shape, and it's kind of got a skinny lip, as opposed to this one. It's just flat and it's kind of thick. But that's not the point. Well, let's compare the spikes. Sharpened, pointy. About the same length. This one looks meaner. This one looks blunt and painful. This looks like it would absolutely just pierce shit. I mean, they both will pierce stuff. It's pointed steel. What I'm getting at is this is lighter. It's narrower, it's lighter. It's got more edge options on it, and it's got a more viable pry bar. But the point is, it's lighter. So, like, if you're trying to defend yourself against somebody with a tool who's trying to use it on you, or you're just, you got drunk at your fucking stepmom's birthday party and somebody pissed you off, fast. This is like, it's different. I mean, there's some swing to it. It's actually, I don't know again. I don't know, I'm changing my mind. Just kidding. Point is, you want speed and you want a light tomahawk, and this is too fucking heavy. It's just too heavy. This is light, this is fast. And that's, if you're gonna have to do some research and you're gonna have to spend some money and you're gonna have to test some tools to see what you think, but tell you what, I thought this was perfect for doing really epic self-defense. But now that I held this, which is pretty much the same thing, it's just lighter and faster. You want speed. You don't want it it's a massive recorrection that has to happen with this. This is lighter. You get the point? How about this one? This is the Bone Tactical Breacher. And it's got a real easy, wide, loose sheath. It's huge. Again, faux pry bar. It's too thick. It's too goddamn thick to get into anything that you haven't smashed up already. This, he advertises it as like a destruction tool, which, yeah, it's heavy as fuck. You can't carry it though. It's self-defense, get the fuck out of here. You ain't defending yourself with this against somebody with a knife even. Unless you catch them with one good one. But this is heavy. We'll put it on the scale and you will see how heavy it is. It's huge. It's thicker than a 1/4 inch. Here's the RMJ Eagle Talon. As far as self-defense goes, which is the bread and butter, this is half the weight of this. It doesn't have a fucking cute, faux, useless pry bar in the end, but look at the head of that. It's mean as shit. Look at that spike. you can say, oh, Silly the Kid, those are two different tomahawks for two different purposes. Sure, but the guy that sells this one says it's the best and most effective in the world for anything you may run by him. I mean, you just gotta buy an RMJ Tomahawk and hold it in your hand, and you will see, like, you will definitely see which one's better for self-defense. So, that's the truth about Bone Tactical Tomahawks. They're not ideal for self-defense. The breacher, breaching tool, sure. Doors, shit like that. Executing defenseless person would be good for that. The Bone Hog, you know, he's supposed to be like perfect for martial artists who know everything about that martial arts shit. I'm not calling martial arts shit, but that's the gimmick here. Is this is supposed to be the world-class design for martial artists to use in fighting. At the end of the day, it's real heavy. You can use it to bust padlocks. You can use it to defend yourself if you got the upper hand, I'd say, or you element of surprise. I don't know. It's really cool looking. It looks like it was out of a. It looks like it was out of a movie. I don't know what movie, but that's why I liked it. That's why I liked Bone Tactical. Bone Tactical looked like a company that was out of a movie. But that's just it. It's a fictional concept that he's selling. Because RMJ, word of mouth, that's how I heard about RMJ. Word of mouth, and all the fucking years and years of good press. Bone Tactical has no press until now. Because everyone that advertises his stuff as a favor to him, because they are convinced that he's so fucking cool, are only advertising his cheapest products. These are two of his most expensive products. And I had them for a long time, believing that they were the best Tomahawks I would ever find. Bone Tactical's customer service. If you want the truth about Bone Tactical, they don't give a fuck about their customers. They don't give a fuck about the people that do free advertisement for them. Doesn't give a fuck about anything but the money, from what I can tell. Because when it comes to the machetes, I mean, can you tell what's wrong with this one? Just from looking at it. You might not be able to on camera, but I'll tell you, it's bowed and it's bent. Steel's real strong. It really is. It's really, it for the most part, for the extreme most part, holds up to bone, which is what it's advertised to do. That doesn't negate the fact that the very first time I tested it, it warped, and it got these waves in the edge down here. In a part of the edge, it never made contact with anything. And that's just fucking weird. It's not what your $800 blade is supposed to do on its first use. This one I already showed you earlier. So the point is customer service, man. If you have a problem of any kind with their products, you're gonna get treated like shit. You're gonna get treated like your word doesn't matter. You're gonna get treated like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, which is what happened to me. And I've read plenty of other customer experiences about the same treatment. You got a problem with an order, it didn't show up, you're gonna catch fucking shade by the maker telling you that, oh, you shouldn't have chose the free shipping option. Or if you have a fucking knife that chips and you've seen the advertisement saying it will never chip, and then it does, and you let him know, he's going to let you know you don't know how to use a knife and you're not safe to buy his products. So I've seen that testimony several times on the internet, and it's happened with both of these here, his most expensive products. $900, $800. They both showed extreme flaws in their first use, and when I contacted the maker, he put it all on me. So you cannot, I mean, all the footage is on my channel for you guys to see what I did with these, and you can judge for yourself if I misused them or abused them or went out of my way to fuck them up, and you can judge that for yourself, but I know that I didn't. I used them exactly the way that he advertised them to be used. The other thing I think you should know about the truth about Bone Tactical is if you were drawn to it by the stories and the stuff that the maker says about himself and his past and his outlook and his company and how it got formed, I just got to tell you that I never bothered to do my research to validate any of the stuff he was saying, because I just liked the idea of buying blades from a company that's like, I don't know, has such a cool story, right? If you're familiar with Bone Tactical, I'll just tell you this. Honduras has an extradition treaty with the US, and what was the other thing?
No record of him being a felon.
And if you Google the maker's name, you're not gonna see shit about any felony, okay? I was drawn by one video in the first place, which is about what weapons a felon can carry in the US, or a felon loadout or whatever. Thought that was kind of funny and interesting that a guy was carrying a musket, or at least doing the bit of a guy who carries a musket. And it's not a bit. Every single video, he's telling you that he's been on the run from the US, hiding out in Honduras, and that he's a felon and that he can't have guns in the US, so he operates a security company in Honduras. And since he pissed me off, I've been looking into all that shit, and there's no simple answer to that besides there's no evidence of it that you can find with deep research, deep internet digging. You're not going to see anything about him being a felon. You're not going to see anything about any of his security shit. I mean, besides on his website. Anywhere you look and see somebody naysaying Bone Tactical, you will see a comment from Bone Tactical with a link to their website or a link to their YouTube videos. So that's not valid. That's not legit. That's not legit evidence that his story is true. It's fucking made up. And if it's not, prove me fucking wrong. Somebody send me a link to something other than his YouTube channel or his website that validates any of the shit that he says about his past or himself, period. Okay? He had his fucking dad sticking up for him in one of these comment sections. Or he was posing as his dad to fucking stick up for himself against a slew of people pointing out all the inconsistencies with his shtick. Because it's a shtick. That's all it is. You heard it first from me, Silly the Kid, a self-defense guru. And elite Bone Tactical pay pig, not anymore. That's the truth about Bone Tactical. They don't give a fuck about their customers. They only give a fuck about the money being spent. That's it. And if you have a problem, any problem at all, it seems like you're not gonna get any kind of support for it. You're just gonna get dogged on and told tough shit. Buy it again, and maybe it'll work right. So they got immaculate, beautiful advertising, but at the end of the day, their designs aren't perfect, their steel is not perfect, and the guy running the customer service department is an absolute asshole and an egotistical fat. The guy running the customer service department is a very sensitive and dainty boy. I will just say that. You can't even hint at anything negative about his stuff, or he will get mad and ban you and tell you you're not fit to purchase from such a great store. So that's the truth about Bone Tactical. Fuck Bone Tactical. I'm Silly the Kid, and I'm a fucking clown. I'm here to amuse you. Oh, putting this in the wrong sheet. Fuck. Like I said, I'm Silly the Kid, and I'm a fucking clown. I'm here to amuse you. And maybe one of these days, I might actually impale or castrate or skin myself with one of these super complex Bone Tactical tools. But in the meantime, I'm gonna be clowning on Bone Tactical because the way they treated a motherfucker that buys $2 grand worth of steel that had it go bad is laughable, and fuck them.